How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. It's Thursday. It's the big thing. And James Gunn, he's going to do this big, huge thing at Comicon, right? For Superman. Nope. Says he ain't going to be there. What's that mean for Superman? Are they going to do a big presentation without him? Well, we'll talk about that. TV shows. Shogun. People love this show. I have seen a total of 0 episodes. But Roxy finally caught up. She got all 3. So we'll talk about that. I know that people are wondering, hey, what's going on with you and Katee's blah, blah, blah show? I'm going to talk about that too. Talk about all of that and more on the show. And we're going to do TV stuff. As I mentioned, Shogun, Bachelor, whole bunch of stuff. So click that button, that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. We hope that you can help us out. And the new UAP channel, the daily news channel, is launched, and we just crossed 12,000 subscribers on that channel. So make sure you hit that button as we're going to keep on going up because we want more news. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found, it is the big thing. It's me and Roxy Stryer. Brett was canceled from last week's show. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It is the big thing. It is Thursday. It's myself, Roxanne Stryer, and me together again.
Where is Brett?
Sick. Yeah.
He got the cold.
He got the cold.
Damn,
Yeah.
It's going around.
So he's not feeling good right now. So he said he wasn't going to come by, and I said, that's a good move. Don't
Wow,
do it.
so instead of celebrating his 50th birthday, he got sick?
I think he celebrated and then got sick. So at least he got to celebrate a little bit. But I'm glad I wasn't there.
What did he do to celebrate?
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, see? So you wanted me to go there and get sick. How
I
about
did.
that?
I did want you to get
That's what
sick.
you
That
said.
was my
That was the whole
master
intent.
plan.
You said, go and get sick.
Yeah.
I said, not going to do it.
I was hoping.
Yeah.
Did you text Kate?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Them having the same birthday is kind of spooky.
It's spooky and also convenient.
It's very
It pops
convenient.
up on my phone that it's both. She's like, thank you for. She's like, how do you remember this? I said, my phone. I didn't tell her, but it's like my phone tells me.
So do you remember Brett's and then you know it's Kate's, or do you remember it's Kate's and then you remember it's Brett's?
Actually, let me tell you something about me.
You don't remember either.
I don't remember anyone's birthday.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. I am so bad at it. Like I said, I told the story about the Stacey Howard thing with my sister-in-law.
You October?
October, yeah.
12?
No, but close.
What is it?
I'm the first.
You're October 1st?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's easy to remember. I'll get that. I knew you were October, though. What month am I in?
I'm gonna say May, June,
No.
July.
Yeah.
I knew that's my first choice
So what happened?
because I didn't trust myself.
What's the date?
Oh, I don't know. 12th.
13th. That was close. That was close.
I got close.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a good. This is the content everybody wants.
Well, it's just to show that I'm just very bad at this. I'm just, like I never
Listen.
I'm really my phone. Thank God for phones. If it wasn't for the phones telling you stuff these days, I would forget everybody's birthday. I'm so bad and not like, oh, do you have an excuse for it? No, I'm terrible at it. I'm really bad at it. And my wife is probably the only one that gets the proper, birthday love that everybody else should get.
Can I tell you something that's not exciting?
Sure.
The opposite.
You're engaged?
Of, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm engaged. It's
Yeah.
going very well.
good.
Yeah, thank you for
Quick,
asking.
impressive.
And his name is
Lucas.
Jalucas.
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 Jalucas Biff.
Jalucas Biff and I are
Good.
it was love at first sight.
That's what I mean. With a name like that,
Yeah, I was like,
should have
Jalucas,
been
be
named at first
mine.
sight. Jalucas.
The thing that I do, other than birthdays in my phone,
Yes.
is I put in the heart dates for people.
Whatever that means.
Like your brother's passing is in my phone. Like Mark Ellis is. It's like
Right,
all
right.
those are in my phone,
Wait, Markel. Oh, okay.
and that makes me look like a stud. Like when
'Cause
you
you
remember
remember.
those things,
You
and then
remember.
people are like,
Yeah.
so excited.
But it does regardless because you had the wherewithal to actually put that in your phone in the first place. So even though your phone's reminding you, like my phone reminds me because of Facebook, not because I put it in my phone. It's like someone will put it. Facebook,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Facebook
okay,
tells
okay.
me, "Hey, idiot, it's time to say happy birthday to
So
your
what happened
close
with your
friends."
sister-in-law? What happened with Stacey?
No, the sister-in-law was even worse because my dad told me on the day.
Yeah, that's bad.
Remember, it's Stacy's birthday today. I was like, all right, I'll make sure they get to. again,
You have to in that moment. You
in the
cannot
moment,
wait. Yeah.
I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at it. But anyway, so you and Jalucas, how's the date going? Was there actually dates anybody this week or no?
I thought there were going to be several.
Uh-oh.
There
All
were
canceled?
none.
Oh.
There were just
Who
none.
did you see Dune with?
I went and saw Doom with Matt, my manager,
Okay.
And somebody else from the management company. We went
Thanks for
actually.
calling me.
It was Sunday. You told me you couldn't go Sunday.
It's true.
So
Okay, so whatever.
yeah, if I was going this week, you told me you couldn't go till this week.
Still take a text.
But I wanted to see it. Let me tell you something. Now that I told you who I went with,
Sure.
we actually had a debacle when we were watching the movie. Let me tell you what happened. The two people I went with already saw it.
Okay.
They were seeing it for the second time.
Okay.
And because you met him a couple times, my manager is like just awesome. He's the greatest. I really like him. But during the movie, he would know what was coming next, and he had all these tells. So I knew when there was about to be a moment, like without meaning to, he'd be like, "Oh yeah," like do a little drum roll. So I moved seats.
You moved seats away from him because you couldn't take it. That's great.
I didn't want to know, and I kept he'd be like,
Why don't you just tell him to cut it out?
because he was enjoying himself.
But didn't
so
that make
much.
it more obvious? He must probably thought he smelled or something.
No, he didn't. This is the best part, Kristian. Afterwards, he didn't know I had moved.
Were you sitting directly next
So
to him?
here's what happened. It's the one manager, my manager, and then me.
I'll tell you, this doesn't seem like a very attentive manager.
Not when it comes to Dune. Priorities, Dune, Roxy. So I'm sitting next to him, and I get up and move one row behind them because I just was getting everything spoiled. Like I knew when there's going to be a sad part, a good part, whatever. So I sit one row behind him. The movie finishes. We go outside, and the manager, not my manager, said, "You're going to have to go see the movie again." And I said, "Why would I have to see the movie again?" He goes, "You were gone for the last 40 minutes."
Oh,
and I said,
just didn't know that you went.
"No, but that's not my manager. That's the other manager."
Right.
He says, "You were gone for the last 40 minutes." And my manager goes, "What are you talking about? She was sitting next to me the whole time." And I said, "You're both wrong."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was
That's
good.
really funny.
It was good.
Was it an empty theater?
You know what? We went to, have you ever been to Sunset? It used to be a Sunset, like independent. Now it's a Landmark.
Oh, okay.
But it was a 70 millimeter.
Okay, but not IMAX.
But not IMAX, but 70 millimeter. And it was half full. And every other theater around town was completely.
What time?
Sunday at 4.
Okay.
But it was weird. Every other theater was completely full. That one had half the seats empty. And I was like, I wonder what that's about. The theater is under renovations.
Yeah.
There was no carpeting. There was like some issues. It's very small. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe people.
Is that the one where the guy shit in the box? Wait, that's another story. Never mind.
You're making a joke or you're telling a real story? Who shit in the box, Kristian?
I remember the character's name that we came up with 10 minutes ago.
Jalucas.
It was Jalucas. That's the reason why he couldn't make the day, because he was shitting in boxes across country.
Yep, that's the one where Jalucas shit in the box. You're right, Kristian.
He won some
that's
cash.
What happened.
He won some cash for shitting in a box.
But no, I didn't go on a date to the movie because I didn't go on any dates this week because I never got a call from that guy, which we know is long gone.
Yeah,
but then the other people that I was supposed to set, like Snyder was supposed to set me up with this guy.
Trust that?
Okay, sorry. Snyder's brother was supposed to set me up with this guy. Snyder's brother's like super normal.
Yeah.
Really, really sweet. Nice guy.
Kids and normal people.
Yeah. No,
Love to-
Jeff setting me up, I don't know about that.
Anyway, well, I'm sorry that didn't work out for you just yet, but you got to see Dune, so that worked out.
And Jalucas.
And Jalucas.
Yeah. I forgot his name already.
That's all right. I guess he's not that memorable.
What'd you do this weekend?
What did I do this weekend? I never can remember. That all blends in together. I didn't watch the wrestling was last week.
Good. Oh, what's going on with Katie's show?
Oh, right. All right. Well, let's talk about that.
Tell the people. Tell me.
Okay. So Katie's show, blah, blah, blah with Katee Sackhoff, which is the show we started together. We started shooting it in, I think it was like June or July of last year. And we banked so many episodes, and then the strike came and we had to push things back and all that. And then during that time, Katie moved to Oregon, and she moved there with her family, obviously, and she comes back and she's able to, that you can now, for what you do, a lot of your auditions are through
Remote. Yeah.
So she can do that. And so she wanted to move and make a better life for their family. And she's done that as much too. And what we did is that we had changed studios, and we found a really good studio that we started banking more episodes. And we have, and I think it'll start coming out soon, the Ming Na Wen episodes, the Trisha Helfer episode, the Mary McDonald, all those episodes, the Michael Rosenbaum one that we did, all those were at the new studio. It was great. The problem is that Katee has to fly from Oregon to LA to get these done, right? So during that time, it's like we had a guest booked and she flew in for it. And that day, the guest got sick and canceled.
Oh my God, it's so miserable.
So she's like, oh. So we had to film. We filmed a couple like hindsight episodes and things that we did together. And it
good use of your time though. Way to make it work.
It worked, and she definitely. And she was a very hard worker. Really loves it, and she said as much in her announcement. The issue with me is that she brought me on to do a video podcast or video show and help her run the YouTube thing. And she's going audio only with her show. So we decided, like, I worked on the show up until, I guess, whatever the last video episode is on that channel. And then she and her husband, I think, are going to be producing the show moving forward. But we talked, and she's going to come on this show. She's going to be, because for old school fans, you'll remember that Katee was our second co-host that we ever had.
Who's your first?
Catherine Reitman.
Oh.
Catherine Reitman was our
first. I am.
You love Catherine Reitman, yeah.
I'm sickeningly obsessed with her. I think it's so disrespectful that you haven't hooked it up yet.
I haven't. I don't talk to her as much anymore. I did send her a text when her dad passed, and then she wrote back and we talked a little bit there. But like I haven't really spoken to her in a bit. Again, she's got a family and everything too, but she's crushing it. But
she's brilliant.
She's brilliant. So and she's a very, very funny person. And so she was our first, and then Katee was our second, and then Tiffany. So it was like boom, boom, boom.
And then Alicia?
Was Alicia right after? I think it was Alicia. I think Alicia was right after. Yeah, Alicia was after Tiffany. So, but Katee was for a bit, and then Katee was like every week. And that's when I first realized she was pretty damn good at doing this. So she's going to be a contributor. She's going to come on a big thing when she's available with the new program that I've been using lately on that I used for UAP Tuesdays. I used it yesterday with Steph and Mike. We are going to do that. So we'll probably have her here on Thursday's show, probably have her on Wednesday shows.
Why'd you use it with Steph and Mike?
Steph got into an accident, couldn't get over here. So and she was either just me and Mike, which would have been fine. We've done it many times over, but if I could still have her on the show.
Yeah,
and I love this program. I love, how much I don't like using StreamYard.
Yeah.
I love using this other program.
It's not going to last, Kristian.
What? This program?
Yeah. No, you loving the program.
No, it does.
You've never had a tech program that you've loved for longer than a month. No, that's not true.
It's no. I've already had it longer. Because
Are they a sponsor of ours?
No.
Then I'm accurate.
No, I'm telling you. Like this is. I can go back and forth the same way. If I'm here and then I go back and forth with somebody here, you can't even tell. Like the problem with StreamYard is like when you talk over if someone talks over someone else, the audio just distorts it, and then it's that awkward timing of like when you're trying to. It doesn't do this with this other program. I've had no problems with the other stuff, and it's been so much better. So we'll have her in to do it, and I can adjust the camera shots because that's the other thing is it distorts the quality of the video in StreamYard. It doesn't look as crisp. You can change like filters and everything too in this other program.
Well, for Katee, of course, you're gonna love it. You're gonna make it work.
And I have her on the show and have her like interact with you and have her on with.
That'd be cool.
So we're gonna have her on and she can promote her show. So, but I won't be doing her show anymore. Obviously, we'll be around. It was so funny, idiots who were like, I bet you Kristian took all his equipment and left. I was like, first of all, dickhead, if you would have seen in the first place, we stopped filming here and moved to another studio already. So
that's the common set?
Some dumb. And I had to write in there going, because I don't want people, because Katee and I have been friends since 14, 15 years now, whatever it is. And it's like, I don't want, there's absolutely nothing, no hard feelings at all. She brought me on to be a video producer. She's not doing video anymore, and if she does, it'll be down the line. And so I'm doing, and I have a lot of shit that I'm doing with my channel now, and I got to launch the other channel.
Yeah, so that's growing very fast.
Yeah,
Kristian.
and so we put a couple of videos out.
Who's we?
So I am working with the guy who's been a contributor, this guy Pavel.
Okay.
He has his own channel. But he's very much like just into the like he knows all the stories, everything too. He's helped me aggregate stories. And when I'm done with you today, we're going to do another one. That one I did use StreamYard because it's so easy to me just kind of directly into it. And then I talked to him. It was like a 6-7 minute video, our first one. And we're going to do like 6-minute videos. So yeah, and we had a really good guest on last Tuesday, Matt Laszlo, who kind of broke a big story, a couple of big stories, and then we've got a couple things lined up for that show too. So things are moving with this channel right now, and I'm busy. So it actually worked out.
Yeah, that's great.
It worked out.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm never gonna if Katee ever calls me up and say, "Hey, I need your help with this," I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
Like I said, she says, yeah, it's been 16 years. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. You guys have a really good friendship.
Yeah, it's been
you
crazy.
You love each other, so
yeah, so
makes sense.
Anyway, so that's it. So people who wanted to know, that's why I won't be doing the show. But you should go and support Katee. She's going to still put her audio up on the YouTube channel. You can do it similar to like what Jason Bateman does, and those peeps are going to she'll put the logo up or the guest picture, and you can still get it. And you can still go to Spotify, you can still go to Apple, and you can go and check out all her stuff because the show is good. She's really good at what she does, and she's going to get some quality guests. The majority of the guests that we got, it was all because they're just Katee's friends and who she knows. She's going to keep getting good people on, especially as her show grows.
Yeah, she's a big star and she's really likable.
Yeah,
so
she is.
Do the show.
So go and support her today. Before we move on to some of the stories, first thing I want to tell you is, got to tell you about both BetterHelp and Rocket Money. Here you go. All right, guys, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. So BetterHelp, I've been telling you guys about BetterHelp for a while now. We've had a lot of people that they've been helped out by. So this is why the big thing is sponsored by BetterHelp, because what's the first thing you need to do? If you had an extra hour in your day, would you go for a run? Would you take a nap? Would you read a book? Would you show up for a friend? Well, the problem is a lot of us spend our lives wishing that we had more time. The question is, time for what? If time was unlimited, how would you use it? The best way to squeeze that special thing into your schedule is to know what's important to you and make it a priority. Therapy can help you find what matters to you so you can do more of it. So I've mentioned Roxy Stryer. She's talked about it many times. She's really benefited from BetterHelp. I've had people inside of my family that have benefited from BetterHelp because talking to someone helps. And if you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's online, it's designed to be convenient, it's flexible, and it's suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire, you get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime, no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/bigthing today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/bigthing. Rocket Money. I've been telling you guys about Rocket Money forever because there's a lot of times that you forget about these subscriptions and you either pay twice for it, you didn't realize it, you sign up for a thing and you're like, oh, I'll do that first free month, and then it's gone. Your money's gone every month. Did Rocket Money do what you wanted them to do for you when you signed up? Because it did it for me. I had all these subscriptions and I was like, oh, and it lists it out and it says, don't do that. You don't need these. It tells you how much money you have that you've spent in the month. It tells you, it gives you your credit score. It gives everything. I mean, Rocket Money for me is the way to go. It's a personal finance app. And it finds and it cancels your unwanted subscriptions. It monitors your spending and it helps lower your bills, which is the best. So you can grow your savings because Rocket Money has over 5 million users and it's saved a total of 500 million, saving members up to $740 a year. So don't waste money. Cancel your unwanted subscription and go on over to rocketmoney.com/bigthing. rocketmoney.com/bigthing. How's BetterHelp going?
Unreal.
Yeah?
So good.
Okay.
I mean, I walked in and told you a little bit about the week that I had, but I think the reason that you're seeing me not fall apart is I had therapy this morning.
Oh, good.
Thank goodness.
Good, and it helps tremendously.
Yeah. She's just amazing.
Good.
And really helpful and like with worksheets and action steps and not just me talking and then really listening. She's very active.
I love that.
Yeah, with her feedback and whatnot. Feedback's a weird word, but sometimes
breakdown of kind of the situation. Sure, sure.
It doesn't feel like talking to a friend. It feels like getting help from a therapist.
Good. And I because I mentioned you obviously when we were talking about them, and I always bring it up because I think that you just to watch that shift from that day when I brought up BetterHelp to today. So it's great. And then the other thing for me is that when I tell you about Rocket Money, like it is like everything. on here because of Rocket Money. So links in the description. You help us out tremendously, and you get yourself some great stuff if you do it. And I always pin it as the top comment.
I have a question for you,
Yes, please.
Kristian. It's not going to matter for the people at home because they can't see what I'm talking about, but I'm curious and I'll describe it for them. Your shot list on here.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, Steph,
Yeah.
wide 2-shot news show.
None of this is going to matter. I'm going to cut all this.
Don't cut it. I just want to know why does it say
Nobody knows what
Roxy?
you're talking about because
I'm telling them that my shot says chair 1 while Steph says Steph and Mike says Mike.
Yeah, I'll tell you why.
Thank you.
Today you get Roxy. Because the reason why...
I'm a star!
Perfect. Chair 1 and chair 2, usually it's revolving throughout the week. This was for that program today. So that's why. And then the 2-shot, these are for the actual one I'm doing.
I just wanted my name in lights.
Yeah. But look, let's do this.
Tell the people.
No. Okay, this dropped yesterday. Director James Gunn confirms he'll miss Comic-Con. He reveals some specific, surprising inspirations. Superman director and DC Studios CEO James Gunn has confirmed he won't be present for this year's San Diego Comicon. However, he's also shared some specific sources of inspiration for the movie. DC Studios unveiled its DCU slate titled Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, at the end of last January. James Gunn has since kept fans up to date on his social media platforms, but last year's WGA strikes definitely slowed down the DCU's momentum, delaying work on the likes of Waller and Lanterns, for example. Fans are eager for another update, with the hope being that DC Studios might steal the show at this year's San Diego Comic-Con by sharing a first look at Superman, along with more casting announcements and future projects. While that may indeed happen, it sounds like Gunn won't be part of it. Asked by a fan on Threads if he's excited about the annual event, the filmmaker simply responded with, "I will be shooting." Remember, Gunn recently suggested that Comic-Con and some sort of online presentation aren't his only options for a DCU slate update, so he might have something else planned. In other news, the filmmaker has asked for his Superman inspirations beyond just Richard Donner's work, and these are the images that he chose to share. This is the first one he shared. That's like an old school one. This is why we'll probably cover this on Capes and Cowls also, because Coy and Winston probably know these way better. I mean, maybe Roxy does too. I don't know, but I don't know these as well. He did a bunch of them. Here's another one. Okay. So tons of images, and then this is Kingdom Come. This is the Kingdom Come one, and I guess it's going to kind of set up the Kingdom Come episodes. All right, Roxy, let's start with the fact that he's not going to be at Comic-Con. Now, Warner Brothers is probably still going to have a thing. If I was to guess, Warner Brothers has their big panel and has a whole big thing, and then says, and here's a word from James Gunn, who's shooting Superman at the moment, and James goes, "Hey guys, thanks for being there, yada, yada, yada. While you're there, we're shooting." And I figured I'd show you just a little bit. Because remember, a lot of people don't talk about this enough. James Gunn did something that for Comic-Con that is just kind of unheard of. When Guardians of the Galaxy was filming, they were 2 weeks into filming. This is the first one. You okay?
Spilled them
Yeah, I know.
myself.
2 weeks into filming, and they put together a trailer and it looked like a full-on trailer for the entire movie. That could if they're filming now, by the time they get to July, they could very much so release the first trailer that day, or at least have something to look at, but he's not there.
For sure, that could be it. There's a lot of different things that could be happening right now. I think that Comic-Con is different than it used to be.
Yeah.
And the pandemic really accelerated that with DC Fandom as the place that they were making all of those announcements. And not only just making the announcements, they did a great job with DC Fandom. And people really liked it. And I think with Marvel pulling out of Comic-Con for multiple years and other companies kind of following suit, Comic-Con just is not what it used to be
Not when it
in
comes
many
to
ways.
when it comes to announcements for films and everything the way it was taken. And I think a lot of people, Comic-Con purists, are going to be happier with that.
Because they go for the comics.
Yeah, and I think you can still have events. You can still make it feel like I didn't go last year. You did.
Yes.
And you said you had a blast, right?
Blast.
Yeah. I haven't
Blast.
heard a single person that went last year say anything but that.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not what it used to be, as in it's worse than it used to be. It just quite literally isn't what it was. It is more similar to what it used to be.
Right.
So I think that studios are catching wind of the fact that it's actually not necessarily beneficial for them.
It's not.
To go to Comic-Con, give them all their juice, spend all the cashish, and then not get the capital back. As opposed to, you do DC Fandom, every view you're getting, that's coming to you and into your pocket. So I'm not saying that there won't be any announcements at Comic-Con, but I do think that probably right now they're talking about all of their different options. It is possible that they're doing exactly what you're saying. James Gunn's not going, but they're about to drop something big there. Or it's possible that they decide they're going to do it a completely different way, and all the Superman material that we're going to see is going to come out at their own event or on James Gunn's social or be announced for its own big day in some way.
That's what they should do. In the same way that when Star Wars Celebration was doing everything at Star Wars Celebration and pulling back from doing Comic-Con announcements, or Marvel went to like D23 and did it there, that makes sense, right? The other, you nailed it, because it's like, if I'm a studio and I'm going, okay, I can go and announce, let's use Superman as the example, even though I do think there's going to be Superman stuff, but I'm like, okay, I can do a fandom event where Roxy said you put in the views, you put it on our YouTube channel, you do all these certain things. Plus, I can put out a trailer, and this is any movie, right? I can put out a trailer on that day because I'm not going to make it exclusive, and I'm going to because most of these trailers now are not exclusive. That was what was so exciting about Comic-Con, was that they made them exclusive. But the problem was the technology on these things started getting better, and more leaks started happening. Because when the leaks started happening, they're like, "Well, what are we doing? Let's just put it out." And when they put out the leak, when they put out the trailer, it's like, I remember, was it last year or 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago. One of the Comic-Cons, I didn't go, and I said, "Well, I don't need to go, because for me and what I do, all the trailers will drop that day. And I'll just do what I do, the reaction or whatever it was, and then review them and talk about them," as opposed to, because it actually, Celebration, when they show like trailers and stuff, people, if they show them if they're not exclusive, and if, let's use a Real Rejects as an example, they don't go to Star Wars Celebration, they get that trailer reaction out. If it drops at, let's say the panel's at 10 o'clock and it drops at 11 o'clock, 10:45, 10:45, their reaction's up. I got to wait for the panel to be over.
Right.
Then I have to get back to my hotel. Then I gotta either
set up.
Then I gotta do. I'm not even doing an immediate reaction to it. I'm doing a watching it again or a review, because I've just seen it.
And Wi-Fi, which is always an issue there.
Right. So it's like, you go to those things because you want, like, and it's pushed. The reason why everyone was having fun, because they were going as fans. You've got to go as fans, and there are ways. There's news and stuff you can cover for work. But it's
man on the street
different
stuff, feeling the vibe, events.
Website people, they're covering all the stuff that's going down. That's big. And then that's usually the stuff that now, if I'm there, if it's exclusive, it's exclusive thoughts on like the trailer and things of that nature. But I'm just covering this on the professional side of things, because I think that I still say, even though I think Star Wars needs a complete facelift right now, their event is still the one that is the most satisfying for fans, because when you go to Comic-Con, as I've mentioned this many times over, you go to Comic-Con, you walk on the floor and you go, "Ooh, I'm a DC fan. I like all this DC stuff." And you turn to the right and there's a bunch of Marvel stuff. I don't like that. Or you over here, I'm not a big, what's the other, Boom Studios. You're like, I like Boom, but I don't know, I kind of like DC. So where's my DC stuff? Star Wars.
Right.
Everywhere
you
go.
Like Star Wars, and it's
Star Wars. You're going there for Star Wars. Right. And
I'm with you.
I think Marvel needs to do its own con. I think that DC needs to do its own con. I think they need to get away from Comic-Con, because then,
okay, I'm super with you. But the good thing is that when they were making these huge announcements at Comic-Con, we were getting one movie a year, if that. So
Marvel was doing two. Marvel.
No, I'm not saying in their announcement. I'm saying when Comic-Con was at its peak, when they were doing the announcements, there weren't. I guess maybe Marvel had 2 movies a year at that point.
Yeah.
But even if 2, now they have 5. What I'm trying to say is, at the time, if there was only gonna be one massive announcement a year. Now everything, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, they all have 15 massive announcements in a year. Whether it's a movie that's upcoming, whether it's a trailer, whether it's a release date, whether it's they sign somebody. Like there's so many announcements that you could kind of do the best of all things. Like you could still say that Marvel wanted to do its own con. They could still do that, and they could drop one thing every year at Comic-Con to keep fans really stoked because there's enough stuff.
Are you going to go this year?
I haven't missed a con, so
you haven't?
It's
Okay.
in 8 years.
It's so funny. I had a streak like that going when Ellis and I were doing it. I think 2011 was the first time we went, and I think the last time I was there was 2019.
This time we stayed. The last couple times we've stayed at Steph's, so I don't pay for a place.
Right, so it's easy for you.
And then it's just we went for 2 days last time. It's like one day sleeping, the next day. So fun. So I don't know that I'll do the whole con like I used to do, where I got a hotel right there. Remember, Skybound sent me.
Well, that's right. Yeah,
and they used to put me up in this gorgeous suite and pay for all my food and everything that I did, and it was sick.
Well, that's when I was covering it for Fandango,
right?
And it was. But I've talked about it before too. The most stressed I've ever been in my life was when I was working for Fandango and Spike at the same time.
Yeah. It's too much.
My head almost blew off. I was like, I don't know how people do this. But I'll tell you, the con that I think is the most beneficial for work and for studios in general, CinemaCon. That's the one that I think is, because there's tons of exclusive stuff. There's tons of they show movies early. There's tons of industry news. There's tons. I mean, that's built for industry news.
I've never been to CinemaCon.
This
is the Vegas one, right?
Yeah. So I went last year for a day because I had gone to.
That was the Flash one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was supposed to go for all four, but because they showed parts of Barbie, they showed Wonka, they showed a bunch of stuff. I didn't go because to all the rest because I had just gotten back from a wedding. It was like a 3-day thing, and I got back, and when I got back, I was my wife was like, "You're going away again?" I'm like, "I'm just going away for a day. I'm just going away for a day." And then it was tough. It was tough to do more than one day, but it was fun. It was fun for what it did. But
is it as fun as Comic-Con is in terms of the party element?
I know that they have. Like I said, I was only there for a day. I went to dinner with Snyder and then I went home.
Mm-hmm.
But it was but they have them. They have the parties, and the parties of Comic-Con were my favorite thing that I was doing. When it came to after I stopped working for Fandango and I was just working for Collider, there was 2 years in a row. They were my two favorite Comic-Cons ever, and I definitely saw. It was when I saw you. Remember when I saw you at the Hard Rock that time? Mm-hmm. That was one of my favorite Comic-Cons because my job for those two Comic-Cons was hang out during the day and go to the party at night and do a schmodown on a Saturday.
Yeah.
That was the best. That was the best. I remember covering Hall H was easy to do when you're not covering and running around with different. I remember poor RB3 running around with the freaking camera at 80, 90 degree weather. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I always recommend to people, especially people getting into this space, go to a Comic-Con. We had so much fun for those 7, 18,
it's
7, 8 years.
Like they call, I think Steph said this, Nerd Vegas. It's
100% Nerd Vegas.
So fun.
Yeah, absolutely it is. But anyway, James Gunn ain't going to be there, man. And then there's the question of where
he's going to miss out then.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's going to be shooting that movie. How excited are you for the new movie and the title and everything too? The new title.
Unbelievably excited. Yeah. Although I did, because you and I haven't spoken about this. I do think that the way he phrased why he dropped Legacy does have me curious. Because he said, I wrote the script and then realized, no, this is Superman.
Right.
Which makes me wonder why before writing it, did you think it was Legacy? Mm-hmm. And afterwards, it's not Legacy, it is Superman.
That's true. I mean, I think Legacy will probably wind up being the sequel.
Yeah, I think so. I just think he was telling us something with that,
maybe.
Saying I thought that I was writing Legacy and then I wrote it and it was Superman.
Which is great.
Yeah, which I think is better. You don't want the first of your movies to be Legacy.
Yeah, and I want to see what I wrote this and I took the tweet down because I just get tired of people. That's why
You're still on Twitter?
I post and run normally.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but when I was
retweet,
and then that's it because when I did do something, I'll do something on big thing like the other day. I saw movie related stuff. There was something that I saw where it said what's a scene where the best scene where a character knew they were about to die, and I put Miles Dyson from Terminator 2.
Okay.
But I'll do stuff like that. But then I posted something, and I wanted to, because sometimes James Gunn will respond to people, right? Mostly on Threads. But I did something on Twitter, and I said, "Hey, are they gonna?" Because he's using a lot of Donner inspiration. I was like, "Are you gonna use John Williams' theme?" And the amount of comments of "I hope not," and I'm like, "Oh, this is gross. This is not what I." It's like people just being so vicious about a John Williams and like the theme song and.
Saying what?
I don't care. I just remember just people being such dickheads about it. And I just deleted the tweet. I'm like, forget it. I'm sorry I did that. Because some people were like, no, I need something original. And I'm like, in the way that they were doing it, it's one way to just have a conversation of going, I don't necessarily think that. I think they should move on from it. I just feel that you can use that theme. I've said it before. You can use that Superman theme in the same way that you use the James Bond theme. Like just and some people will say, well, why not the Hans Zimmer? Hans Zimmer theme is fantastic. So if they want to, but they're going to have to come up with another one, which is going to be tough to beat those two, or at least be in the same neighborhood as those two.
Who are they using?
I don't know. I would assume it's going to be the guy who does the score for Guardians. Let's see, who does Guardians? Tyler Bates. Oh wow, Tyler Bates done. I think he did 300 also. Tyler Bates did Guardians. Did he do Guardians? Who did Guardians 3? Was he? It's John Murphy. So who did Guardians 2? Tyler Bates. So
what happened there?
I don't know. He did not do So let's see. Superman 2025, John Murphy. There you go.
So Guardians 3 composer is doing this.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. And I have nothing but hope for that because James Gunn has a lot of strengths, and one of his major strengths is music.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the soundtrack. I love the Guardians movies, but one of the top things about it is the soundtracks. Definitely,
and he's got an ear for music, so. I'm looking. It's got to have a hopeful theme. It's got to have all these different things. So, anyway, what do you think about the Comic-Con conversation? What do you think about James Gunn not being there? Go ahead, put your comments in there. Let's hear it.
I heard you say that you don't think that the big bad of the first one's going to be Lex.
I think he's going to be in it. I don't think he's going to be the main guy. I think that it's. I said Brainiac, but it's not Brainiac. It's.
No, that makes sense.
But it's not Brainiac. It's who's the guy that is from the guy from. Freaking Barry.
Barry?
Yeah.
Hank. Hank.
Yeah,
Anthony Carrick.
Well, he plays. I don't remember the name of the character. I'm not going to pretend that I remember who he's playing, but he plays somebody. I think he plays the main villain. I think so. So either way, that's who I think. I don't think that Lex is going to be the main villain. I think he'll have a big part. But did you see him on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast?
NoHo Hank guy?
No. Nicholas Hoult.
No.
And he talked about how when he grew up watching him as Lex Luthor, Michael Rosenbaum.
That's
Lex,
cool.
Yeah, it was a pretty.
That is really cool.
It was a good moment.
Let's see. Okay, so Metamorpho, Anthony Kerrigan.
Okay, so that's what they said.
Anthony Kerrigan. Okay, he's really good.
He's really good.
Did you finish Barry?
No.
Oh.
No, I watched
he's
the first
really
season.
Good. But I knew him because he was on Gotham as Victor Zsasz.
Victor Zsasz?
Victor Zsasz.
You sound like you said he played Victor's ass. Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was really good butt.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Victor's ass.
No.
All right.
I'm excited for this.
I'm excited for you guys because I'm going to tell you before we move on. Let me tell you about Roan and I'm going to tell you about Vessi. Get some clothing and some good shoes in your life. Here you go. All right. I love getting you guys good deals, and I got it. Roan. There's so much pain in trying to find what to wear. Whether it's uncomfortable, it's tight, it's never your size, there's difficulty putting pieces together when all the fabrics are different textures. I know it happens to me all the time. You want to look good without having to think about it. Well, that's where Roan comes in. They stepped up to the challenge, everybody. They got the commuter collection. It's comfortable, it's breathable, and it's a versatile set of products known to man. They have products for every occasion, whether it's the most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, polos, blazers. They look great as individual pieces and they work seamlessly together. Rhone's signature 4-way stretch fabric, it's breathable, it's flexible, and it works everywhere from your commute to work to the 19th hole. It's time for unparalleled confidence without all the hassle. Rhone's commuter collection features wrinkle release technology and it is 100% machine washable, looking good. Is that easy? I'm telling you, I love this. They sent me some of this stuff, guys, and first of all, they have the kind of just relaxing casual stuff, but I needed a good pair of pants to go with my suit, and my goodness, I got some for me. I got some for Riley. We're looking slick. It is so great. The commuter collection is easy to care for also, by the way, and it stays fresh and it's odor free. Just head over to rhone.com/bigthing. Use that promo code BIGTHING. Save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to RHONE.com/bigthing. Use that code BIGTHING. It's time to find your corner office comfort. Vessi. So John, I got these new shoes, and they have it's like rain wear. It's really, it's incredible. They sent it to me a while ago, but I'm so excited to tell them about them. For us, I want to tell you that Vessi has this innovative, it's like footwear and it's designed for spring weather. It's great. So Stormburst Vessis are the ones that I really want to kind of emphasize, and they're your go-to for every setting, city streets to outdoor adventures, enhancing your style and activity with ease. So you can, whether it's snowy trails, wet streets, morning dew walk. So whether you're facing unexpected snow or slippery paths, it's so crucial in general to have these. I'm planning a move. I've talked about this, but it's been raining a lot in LA. And I've been wearing my Vesties everywhere. And you guys seen it. I've been wearing the one hoodie that I have that they sent me. I love it. It's one of my favorite things. I love these hoodies. I've worn it on in so many different videos. They have all weather, all occasion footwear from beach days to snowy commutes. They have so many different things. You should elevate your spring wardrobe when you travel with Vessi Stormburst shoes. You can discover more at vessi.com/bigthing. Get your pair today and get an automatic 15% off your first purchase at checkout. And be ready to step out into style. It is great stuff. I love Vessi. I really enjoy Vessi. All right, thank you to our friends over at Vessi and Rhone. Roxy, it's raining out right now.
I know.
These are waterproof. Fantastic.
Well, it would have been nice for me to have those when you closed the gate.
I know, I should have gotten you. Well, that's not my fault. I think somebody else did that. It wasn't me. Before we move on to TV, because that's what we're going to do. We are going to move on to TV. We're going to move on to TV, but not Roxy's picks yet. First thing we're going to do is this. Before we move on to TV, there's another James Gunn story that dropped yesterday, and that's that James Gunn... Before we move on to TV, there's another story that dropped yesterday with James Gunn. This time, he responds to rumors that he's eyeing Elizabeth Debicki for DCU's Wonder Woman. With us no closer to learning whether Gal Gadot will return as Wonder Woman in the DCU, James Gunn has chimed in on rumors he's planning to cast Elizabeth Debicki as Diana Prince. DC Studios has made its intentions known with Superman and Batman, leaving DCEU fans with no choice but to bid farewell to Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton after his Batman Beyond movie was scrapped. When it comes to Wonder Woman, though, the iconic Amazon's DCU's future is a little less clear. All signs pointed to Gal Gadot being fired from the role, and for the first time in several months, the filmmaker and DC Studios co-CEO has commented on the character's place in the new shared world. A fan shared a rumor, with Gunn claiming that he's eyeing The Crown and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 star Elizabeth Debicki as the DCU's new Diana Prince. This is coming from a site that's just making up a bunch of stuff. He confirmed before, adding, "I love working with Elizabeth, but I've never even had this thing." She's not necessarily who we imagine in the role either, but at 6'3", she certainly got the height on her side. The Wonder Woman situation remains unclear, and all signs currently seem to point to the character being rebooted in the DCEU. Despite that, Gadot herself appears convinced her time as the hero hasn't ended yet.
Well, this article did refer to her as fired, which I don't feel like is necessarily the correct word.
No, I agree.
She was fired from it. Also funny because my favorite Elizabeth Debicki role is not her as Diana Prince, but is her as Princess Diana in The Crown.
Oh, yeah. She won tons of awards for it. She's crushing.
She is unbelievably talented.
That's what they said. So, well, this is just another thing. I believe him on this one. It probably hasn't even been thought of yet, and they haven't been cast yet. But as far as I do think Gal Gadot's time is over. And to be honest, I really like her in the role.
Yeah, me too.
I think it should be over.
Yeah, me too.
It just
yes and yes.
Yeah, it's that time. It's time to move on. And it would be weird if she was the only one that survived it.
It'd be that would be super strange, but it wouldn't be the only one because we know what he's doing with his John Cena.
Yeah, but I think that
I'm with you, but Waller.
Right.
So there's
right. They're not the only one. So you're right. But all right. Anyway, give your thoughts on it. Let me know what you think. Do you think it's true? Not true?
Do you think she would be good in this role?
I think she's a great actress. I think she'd be good. The other one that I did see, this was a fan art. I'm going to bring this up. This is a fan art that makes a strong case for Adria Arjona, who I love.
Yeah.
I love her. Hold on. Let me, where is this? You asked me between the two of them. Well, I'm choosing her. I love her from Andor. And I think she's really, really good.
And totally perfect Amazonian.
She would be great.
She would be great.
She would be great fan art for what they've done. So I don't know. Do I think that Elizabeth would be good, though? Yes, I do.
Because she's good. So she'd be
she's good. So she's a good actress. And like they said, she's 6'3".
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
And kick your ass. Anyway.
Was that not an exaggeration? That's crazy.
Elizabeth Debicki is 6'.
Is that her next to Margot Robbie?
Yes, and Margot Robbie is not. She's not. Margot Robbie's like 5'6", 5'7", something like that. Yeah, she's tall. She's tall. She'd kick your ass. Anyway, so what do you guys think? Go ahead and put your comments in there. All right, let's just get to the TV stuff with Roxy. Let's do that. Let's get to Roxy's TV. Roxy, you got some stuff for us today? What do you got?
Yeah, for sure. I got to start with this show that I had not seen by the time that we talked last. I told you guys I would catch up, and I certainly did. It is 3 episodes deep, and it is by far, for sure, the top show of the year of 2024.
Exactly. So the hype is real.
That is Shogun.
Wow.
Yeah, the hype is definitely real. This is not going anywhere, so start watching now because this is going to be like Hulu's Game of Thrones.
Okay.
It's 1600s Japan. It's got everything that you want from a historical period piece, from like sets to costumes. But the plot is really interesting. It's teaching us a lot of things. Like I talked to Steph, who's obviously Japanese, and she was like, a lot of this is relevant to actual history about like the Portuguese and the British and Japan and whatever his relationship was, which I have no awareness of. But it's so entertaining. The fight sequences. It's just.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
But it is half of it's in subs.
I don't.
So what they do is the Portuguese is in English. And the Japanese is in Japanese.
Yeah, look, for me.
Yeah, for you, I know that makes no difference.
No, because it blends in to, I don't even realize that I'm even looking at subtitles if I'm engaged.
Right. I think it might be an issue for them for the younger audience, the dual screen people, or people like me who are just so bad at reading because there's a lot happening while you're reading.
Okay. But you're able to keep up.
I am.
Dupa Lipa.
Dupa Leaps.
All right, next one.
Let's talk Bachelor.
Okay.
I want to let everybody know that I'm upset that Joey's on the show because he's clearly my husband.
You should. See, that's when I should have reached out to the people.
It's the first time I've ever watched it with anybody and been like, I think I would make a good match for him. It's too late.
Yeah, people love this guy.
Yeah.
The ratings have been crazy.
He's really thoughtful and endearing and handsome and exactly what you want in your Bachelor. Yeah. He's great. I'm pretty sure that this girl, Daisy, must win because of the way the show, my producer brain is working. I'm like, the way they're highlighting her, she's got to be the winner.
Okay.
She's cool. I like her. I think they'd be a good couple. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Still the villains out there still? Or
no more villains on the show.
They're at Hometown now, right?
They just did Hometowns.
Yeah, no more villains.
The girl that went home this week, though, her name was Maria. She was my favorite of the women on the show. Maria. I loved her. But she was... A lot of other women like accused her of bullying and all this stuff, and she was not. And she looks really great.
Is that the one that looks like Catherine Reitman a little bit?
I would say No.
Catherine meets like.
No, she's Greek, but she looks like an Italian Jersey girl, but she's Canadian Greek.
Okay, maybe that's the one.
She's really pretty. Catherine Reitman's really pretty too, but they don't look very similar. She's awesome, and I think that they're gearing up for her to be the next Bachelorette. Those are my predictions.
Okay. All right, next one.
Okay, Masters of the Air. I've talked to you guys about this every single week. I'll continue to talk about it every week because it just got bumped for the #1 slot for Shogun because the Shogun plot is just so different from what we've seen. But Masters of the Air is definitely a top 3, top 5 of the year. It's beautiful to look at. We're spending a lot of time in the prisoner of war camp right now, and we just watched them make this radio. I mean, some of the plot stuff is really cool and interesting. The actors are awesome, and I'm super duper into this. Where did I leave you on Masters of the Air?
They were like prisoners of war or something, or they were caught behind the lines or something.
But you didn't see it?
I'm only 2 episodes.
I left you 2 episodes in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, catch up.
I need to catch up on that one as well. Okay, last one. Here we go.
The last one that I wanted to talk about is another show that, while I'm not saying it is the best show of the year, is my favorite show.
Okay.
And I think I didn't end up talking to you about it because maybe we missed weeks, whatever. This show is something that I finished weeks ago and is still on my mind. And I follow all of them on social media because I care that much about the cast. Love on the Spectrum.
Okay.
This show is the best reality show. It's not a reality competition show. It's a dating show, but not a competition show. And it is a group of people that we follow who are on the spectrum. And some of the producers set them up with different people to date, or they find people to date, and we just watch their journey throughout the season. But it's so beautiful, and people find real love on the show. And like this, especially for you guys at home who have seen it, I'm going to call them the Lion King couple. Okay. The Lion King couple, like their love is just so pure and beautiful, and you just root for everybody. And it's like you watch it, and you just the whole time. It's not catty. It's not weird. It's just like yes.
And people need that kind of stuff, man. Yes. So that's it. That's our shows for today.
Those are your shows?
All right, those are your shows, guys. So make sure you check that out. And I want to thank you guys for being here today. I want to thank Roxy Stryer for being here. Roxy, where can they find you?
Everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
For me, you find me all over the place, but you can find me here when you hit that button. Subscribe to the channel. Get us to 200,000 faster than we got to 100. We got the other YouTube channel, which is the UAP News, daily UAP content. Head on over there. If you care about that subject matter, I say you should care. So head on over there, check it out. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Thanks for joining us here today. We'll see you next time.